How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, March the 4th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I am back with another one. I want to thank all you good folk out there for continuing to show support and loyalty to my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. This one is going to be a little different from the norm. And this one is going to put you in the mindset of the little series they had on Netflix called Black Mirror. Most of you have seen it. Most of you have Netflix. If you've seen the series Black Mirror, if you haven't, go check it out. Go all the way to the beginning of the series. Don't jump off in the middle because I think they got different episodes and what have you. But let me go ahead and run this video and show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll give you my thoughts on it. Get it?
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice.
So here's my thing, right? So basically, what they're saying is with this whole Cognify concept that prisoners could be rehabilitated basically within a day. And basically they're just reprogramming these people who have committed crimes. So that means that if you can if you can if these prisoners volunteer, which I'm pretty sure most will, because if they looking at a significant amount of time, hell, nowadays, motherfuckers ain't trying to go do a year and a day, let alone talking about 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. So most people gonna volunteer for it. So my thing is if you have a hypothetically say a 90% volunteer rate, man, that means that you're gonna have a lot of empty prisons and jails. So now, once you have no need for prisoners and jails, basically you have no need for a storage facility to house and store these people that have broken the law. You don't have a need for that. Guess what else you don't have a need for? You don't have a need for detention deputies that work in the jail. You don't have a need for your state corrections, those that work in the correctional officers that work in the prison. So you don't have a need for that. And I'm telling you, there's there's a lot of money to be made when you start talking about the criminal justice system. Lot of money to be made. It's very big business. My dad always said there's big business in prisons. There's big business in the prison system. A lot of money is invested in prisons all around the country.
Either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a
So, family, if the prisoner volunteers to go through this fast track rehabilitation, So now, as I said before, motherfuckers ain't trying to go to prison. Motherfuckers ain't trying to do a year and a day. So if they get the average person nowadays get more than 2 years, I'll do it. I'll sign up. So as I said, you're gonna have a lot. You could potentially have a lot of people that would rather go through this fast track thing where they map your brain and do all this Black Mirror stuff. Go look it up. Go, listen, you go to Netflix. I don't remember the name of it, the particular episode or whatnot, or the name of the particular show because they're broken down in series. But there was one that was I listen. It was talking. It was based around the concept of this right here of what they're talking about on this video, based around the same concept. So a lot of people gonna volunteer for that shit. Yeah, I'll do it. So you trying to say versus me doing 5 years, all I gotta do is just 24 hours? Oh hell yeah, sign me up.
Detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. Synthetic memories are customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim, feeling their pain and suffering firsthand. Some memories are designed to trigger consequences and trauma. Such memories could simulate the long-term consequences of violent actions, such as the grief of the victim's family or the
Wow.
physical and emotional trauma endured by the victim. Artificial
Listen, family, can you imagine that you had a serial killer like Ted Bundy? Can you imagine you had somebody on that scale? They decide, they've been given life. They say, hey, listen, if you volunteer for this, you go through this program, you can be rehabilitated in 24 hours. So life turns into 1 day. So, family, this is crazy. This is this is very, very interesting. Very interesting. So now you volunteer for this. So you did serial killer. So now you volunteer for this rehabilitative program. Now they map your brain and what have you. And can you imagine you feel they're gonna program images and feelings and emotions where you are going to feel whatever the victims felt who you were violating. Listen, we done had quite a few, serial killers out there, and they all have their different fetishes of how they like to go about murdering people. So, can you imagine this serial killer is gonna feel everything that his victims felt? Listen, this is scary, and in my opinion, this is dangerous.
memories could cover a wide range of crimes, including domestic violence, hate crimes and discrimination, embezzlement, insider trading, theft, and fraud. Cognify emotion regulation system could modulate neurotransmitters and hormones to induce specific emotional states, such as remorse or regret, which is crucial for rehabilitation. Real-time monitoring and feedback mechanisms could track the prisoner's neural responses throughout the process, allowing the system to adapt and optimize the rehabilitation in real time with new visuals, sensation, and realistic AI-generated content. To ensure the long-term effect of the therapy session, the memories could become permanent, fully integrated into the subject's mind, as if they were part of their own personal experiences. While subjects are undergoing therapy session, valuable data are collected from all the prisoners into a central computer for scientific research, which will help understand the criminal mind and determine the best approach to tackle crimes in society. AI-driven analytics could enhance the device's functionality, optimizing future procedures based on gathered data and insights. Cognify could feature encrypted storage for sensitive prisoner information and rehabilitation data. A compact and portable design would allow Cognify to be used anywhere in the world. It would be constructed with durable materials to withstand frequent use. Its energy-efficient design would ensure long operational life, reducing the need for frequent recharges. It would have the ability to integrate seamlessly with other prison systems, like security cameras and biometric identification. Once the therapy session is concluded, family members of the subject could be provided with a comprehensive report on the new artificial memories that have been implanted, offering them a chance to adjust to the subject's new, positive personality traits. The subject is then released back into society to start a new life away from crimes. The Cognify concept could revolutionize the criminal justice system by
So let me get this straight. Lil Pookie, who crashed out because his little girlfriend was getting her bike blowed out, and he just deleted the girlfriend and the dude. So Lil Pookie done caught 30 years crime of passion. But they have this Cognify system, this rehabilitative program that, hey, Lil Pookie, all you gotta do is volunteer for this. Them 30 years you done caught, them 40 years you done caught because you crashed out. Not only can we after we're done, you'll be rehabilitated. 30 years will turn into 1 day, Pookie. And all you gotta do is just sign the dotted line. Lil Pookie gonna sign. 'Cause Lil Pookie ain't built to do them 30 years. He just crashed out because he got caught up with that good ass box. So now Lil Pookie undergoes this procedure. Now Lil Pookie gonna go through some shit for 24 hours because they gonna make Lil Pookie feel everything that his victims felt. So however he did it, shot him, knifed him, axed him, however he done it, whatever they felt, the pain, the suffering, the agony, Lil Pookie gonna feel it, and it's gonna be very intense. As it said, that time moves differently when you're going through that reprogramming. They remapping your mind, basically, reprogramming you. And what's really 24 hours feels like them 30 years to you. So you're suffering. You're just not suffering. You're not going through it. You're going through it mentally, but the physical part of it, you're not going through it because you're not actually doing the time. Family, from my previous career fields and working inside of a prison system was one of them. People do time differently. Depends on the crime, depends on the circumstance, depends on what got them in that situation. But man, can you imagine little Pookie can go from crashing out 30 years, rehabilitated, and not only do they rehabilitate Pookie because remember, they ain't just getting off scot-free because when they going through that 24-hour rehabilitative program, they are suffering whatever suffering or whatever. If they broken, say somebody broken somebody's house, broken in an old lady house, or say somebody scammed the old lady out of $80,000, right? And the old lady, as a result of it, you know what I'm saying? This was her life savings for her retirement, whatnot, and get scammed, fraud, Ponzi scheme. And this lady, she passes away as a result of it. So now you done caught basically 15, 20 years, but you can make it all go away if you volunteer for this rehabilitative program. And most are gonna do it because they're gonna say, well, damn, Elon Musk put in that Neuralink. So, it's really not that big of a deal, and most are going to do it because they don't wanna do the time, not physically. They'll do it from a mental standpoint, but man, I can only imagine what it will be like to be going through that, depending on what the crime was, the empathy, just the pain, the suffering that whatever you did to your victim. It is crazy. But Lil Pookie can be reprogrammed to go through that, and then he can come out to be Lil Pookie can come out being they can program Lil Pookie to think he a damn he'll go from being just Lil Pookie on the corner to being a 300,000 a year man. They'll map his brain, download him, say he got a master's degree, and he went to Harvard. They'll put all these thoughts in his head, these images of him being in class, and then they'll tell the family, now, hey, listen, this is how we reprogram Lil Pookie. It- we know Lil Pookie was basically slanging, them dubs on the corner, and he crashed out when he found out his girl was getting her bike blowed out. And he ain't mean to do it, but that box had him gone, so he crashed out. So Lil Pookie volunteered for the program. You don't reprogram Lil Pookie. Lil Pookie is better than what he was. Yeah, Lil Pookie come out that program. Lil Pookie good as new. But he done been reprogrammed. Man, family, that we are tampering with godlike ability, in my opinion.
Significantly reducing the need for long-term incarceration and its associated costs. Traditional prisons require substantial budgets for construction, maintenance, staffing, and prisoner care, including food, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs. By replacing extended prison sentences with brief, intensive rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation, the costs of maintaining prison facilities and supporting inmates could be drastically lowered. The funds saved from reduced incarceration and recidivism rates could be reallocated to other critical areas. These might include education, healthcare, infrastructure development, social welfare programs, or research and development initiatives that benefit society as a whole. By rehabilitating offenders more quickly, Cognify could enable them to reintegrate into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. This increased productivity could boost the economy and generate tax revenue, further offsetting the initial investment in such technology. Successful rehabilitation through Cognify could lead to safer communities, reduced crime rates, and improved social well-being. This could have far-reaching positive impacts on individuals, families, and society as a whole, contributing to a more stable and prosperous future.
This is crazy.
Apart from treating criminals, Cognify could also be used to treat severe memory loss by helping patients recall their past memories. It could also treat patients with PTSD by implanting positive memories that replace the negative ones.
Wow. Family, this is crazy. This is this is this is diabolical. And now we are at a point where now we like playing God now. So my thing is this is why I don't think it'll ever happen. Because we all know there is more money in the criminal justice system as a whole. There's more money because you got to have people enforcing the laws. You got to have the people that you're enforcing the laws like your law enforcement. Then you got to have your detention slash correction side where now the people that have been convicted now they are per se they per se they got to have somebody to watch them. You got to have some place to store them. You got to have some type of storage. So at this point, man, shoot, it's too much money to be lost. It's too much money that will be lost if you talking about reprogramming people, rehabilitating them. You talking about a perfect society. Man, they ain't never gonna let that happen. It's too much money in locking folk up. Like I said, you gotta have people to enforce the laws. You gotta have law enforcement. You gotta have corrections slash detention. Then you gotta have the judicial system. You gotta have the judges. And you gotta have the lawyers. Man, it's too much. It's too many moving parts, and it generates too much revenue. So I don't think that this will ever come into fruition because it because you know that every person that's got their ass locked up for 2 years or better, they gonna volunteer for this. And you talk about, man, like I said, if you talking about like 90% of the entire, we talking about the collective whole of those that are locked up in the prisons around the we just gonna say the United States of America. So those prisoners, those prisons around in the various countries and the jails in the various cities. So take all of that. You got take as a whole, man. I guarantee you, 95% of them guys, man, them prisons and jails be cleared out. And you got people that's reprogrammed to be perfect citizens. Man, it's too much money to be lost. I just don't see them doing that. But what I do see is this. See, I can remember if it's if my memory serves me correctly, in the book of Revelation, it says it's gonna come a time where there's gonna be the 1,000 year reign, if my memory serves me correctly, 1,000 year reign where you know Satan is gonna have free reign of the world, and those that wasn't fortunate enough to be caught up in the rapture, the ones that were left behind, in order to survive in this world, because to my understanding of it, you'll get another this like your second opportunity. If you didn't get caught up in the rapture, this is your perhaps your second opportunity where if you do the right thing during this time where Satan is loose, then you could perhaps still make it to, the heaven, the heavenly gates, making the heaven. So, but those that are left behind, in order to do business, whatnot, you got to take the mark of the devil. Everybody thought it was going to be a number. When they had the movie The Omen. You know, so but what if it's not necessarily a number? What if it's a computer chip? And from what my interpretation of it is in Revelation is that you're not gonna be able to do business unless you bear some type of mark that shows that you align with Satan. So think about it from a futuristic concept. Think about it. Neuralink, this whole Cognify. So in my mind, I don't see them doing this to per se, for the purpose of just making this perfect society and basically making rehabilitating prisoners and turning them into productive citizens. No, I don't see it for that. I can see them maybe using prisoners as lab rats, experimenting, maybe perfecting it on them, because you're gonna have some casualties, I'm sure. Because when they scan your brain and start remapping, you know, your brain and whatnot, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some people that's gonna have some seizures, some hemorrhaging. I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna be perfect. They're gonna need some test runs. So I can see them doing that. Then once they perfect it, now they can start offering it to the everyday American. Cause y'all know, you know, they'll tell us, "Hey, this is the fix for this situation. You need to get, this jab. This jab is what's gonna fix this. And the average American boy, they go get it because they think, if it's being offered by, the government, hey, man, it must be beneficial. But what if this time this ain't it? So people, I don't know. I don't know. People just have to look at it from a different lens. But I'm telling you, if you go to that, go to Netflix and look at, Black Mirror, I think that's what it's called. They had a particular show that was patterned just like this. It was man, listen, looking at this, it kinda reminds me of watching the little Netflix joint. Imma go see if I can find it. If I find it, I'll, come back on and I'll give y'all the name of what series and what episode and whatnot. But family, what say you? What do you think about this? If you perhaps was, unfortunate, wrong place, bad time, bad decision, you caught some time, you volunteer for this? You caught perhaps maybe 10 years, 15 years. Would you volunteer for this rehabilitative program? Would you really? Would you? Mm. Well, family, I would love to hear your thoughts. What you think on this matter? Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.